How's it going? So I just kind of wanted to come on here and I just wanted to share a little something, that I kind of dealt with today uh, with some colleagues. I think that there's a lot of people out here that are confused with the concept and what actually constitutes being with somebody or seeing someone, right? Okay, so let's explore this concept for a minute. Okay? Now, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to question anybody. I mean, it is what it is. It's your life. You live it, right? Only God judges. I'm just here to make a point. Okay, so, all right. What constitutes seeing someone? Okay? Now, for to keep this as simple as possible to understand and make sure that we all understand the same and are on the same page with this concept, let's first understand what it means and what it constitutes to be with somebody. Okay? Now, this covers a lot of different areas. Okay? So let's just make sure that we keep this simple. Okay? Alright. So, dating somebody is you are technically seeing somebody. Even though you may not be actually titled yet, you're actually seeing them because you're dating them. Okay, so you are technically seeing somebody if you're dating somebody. Okay? If you're up with somebody, which I mean friends with benefits or just going to that person with the intent to bump uglies. Okay? You are technically seeing somebody if you are engaging in physical activity with them. Right? There's the logic. That's the simple, basic elephant in the room concept explanation. Okay? Now, of course, we all know being in a relationship with somebody, if somebody is actually calling you their girlfriend or their boyfriend or their significant other on some capacity, way, shape, or form, you are technically seeing somebody. You are with them. Okay? There's no argument there. If someone's going to look at you and say, yep, that's my guy friend, yep, that's my girlfriend, yep, we're seeing each other, we're sleeping together, we're living together, whatever the concept might be, you are technically seeing the person. Okay? Once again, elephant in the room. Okay? Then of course we all know the whole marriage situation. Obviously, if you're wearing the ring that person gave you, you're seeing them, right? So let's just make sure that we understand this basic and undeniable concept of what it means to be seeing somebody or with somebody. Now, if you are on a date with colleagues, right? You're on a dinner date. Okay? That can't constitute being with somebody because you're just on a dinner date with colleagues, right? You're just out with friends. You're just out with colleagues. Now, if one of those colleagues in that group that you're with has the idea, right? If they have the idea in mind or the intent in mind to want to have the potential of dating you, and this dinner is a way of kind of opening that door, but they're not really sure on the direction that it's going to go, can it be constituted a date? Sure. Sure. Absolutely. Yes. If there's intent or the want to potentially be with the person that you're out having fun with, right? That you're out having drinks with after work or whatever the case might be. If there is intent to want to be with that person, can that constitute a date? Yes. Because remember, what is the definition of being on a date? If you're in a public place doing fun things or having an adventure with somebody, right? That constitutes a date, doesn't it? Right? So if you don't want to misconstrue a situation, or if you don't want to get the wrong idea of a situation, or if you don't want to have something constitute a possible situation that you don't want to get yourself into, once again, here's the elephant in the room. Don't put yourself in the situation to begin with. Right? If you're going to potentially give somebody a wrong idea, and you do not have the intent to commit an act, you will never be in the wrong. Once you do show the intent to commit the act, you are in the wrong. Okay? So, now with all that being on the table, let me just throw this piece out there. I had to share this little bit of information with my colleagues, and it got the kind of thing going. It got the bell chime going off in their head. I didn't want to do it, but I mean, obviously, when it comes to engaging the elephant in the room, sometimes it's just the only way of doing it is just engage the elephant in the room. But so one of my colleagues got talking about a situation that they got into, and they were asking for input on what they thought would constitute whether it was an unethical or whether it was in violation of some oath or something. And honest question, things come up, right? And so I asked them to give me the scenario, and I would do my best to analyze the situation based off what the energy told me from what they were saying. And so they explained it to me and so forth, and I guess what it came down to is there was a bunch of married folks and a bunch of, like, in a relationship or just not married but with somebody, and they were all mingling and they were all commingling and they were all hanging out and so forth. And I guess they said that a couple of the folks, one wasn't married and the one was married, but they were drinking, but they were committing acts that might constitute a violation of an oath. And so, I looked at them and I pulled out the ethics. Okay? Pretty simple. If it constitutes a violation of an oath, if one person is wearing the ring, they have an oath. There's no gray area. Right? If the act constitutes a violation of oath that someone has to another person, it is by definition cheating. Okay? It's just, look it up. If you don't believe me, look it up in any psychology book, look it up in any self-help love book that you want to come up with. If the act constitutes a violation of an oath, it is by definition cheating. Okay? So once I shared that with them and I got them thinking, it opened up some portals and some ideas that, okay, yeah, what they saw was wrong. But anyways, I just wanted to come on and share that with you and maybe get some people, on the right track of something. But love you guys. Have a great night. We'll talk soon. Until then.